I was thinking what we could do is just start with a sort of 2-3 minute intervention by each of our panelists. And therefore, I'm going to start down the end, if I may.
I'm Delroy Howell, as you all know, and I'm here representing two of my companies, which I'm the deputy chairman. One is Roth Capital, which we do have presence in the US, Jamaica, Turks and Caicos, and the Cayman Islands. Roth Capital pretty much is an investment firm. We pretty much look for unique opportunities wherever that may be, Kenya. We're here because we think Africa is ripe, Kenya is ripe for partnership, and we're looking for those opportunities. The other company I represent, Tomei Limited. Tomei, I think in 2007, we start looking at the climate change and the effects of emissions and the danger to our environment. And as I was saying to a colleague earlier, whatever investment we're looking to undertake, it is not as important as protecting our environment. We have seen cancer rate on the increase. We have seen pretty much asthma cases on the increase, and a lot of respiratory illness also on the increase. So Tomei Limited has the mandate of checking emissions level, whether in cars, aircrafts, cruise ships, and those of you pretty sure know about climate change and emission. We just had the Paris Agreement in Morocco, and I think Kenya is a part of that Paris Agreement. I think they're a signatory to the Paris Agreement. So again, we'll be looking for opportunities where emissions are concerned. Just last night coming in, I was saying to Zania, just last night coming in we were behind the car, and there was a lot of smoke. I actually have to cover my nose, and we want to ensure that while investments are taking place, we can live as long to enjoy those investments. So those are some of the areas that I'm uniquely interested in and aggressively will be looking for opportunities to invest. You know, everyone inside here would share those criteria. One, investing, we're looking for good governance. Two, we're looking for return for the people of Kenya. And we're also looking for return to the government and also a return to the shareholders. So we call it the four-spawn attack. And once all those attributes all those criteria are fulfilled, I think we'd have a win-win situation. We're not coming here to invest just to make money. We want to see how we can create and develop the social aspect of Kenya. We want to see how we can give back to the people of Kenya, how they can grow. We also know that the government needs money to fulfill a lot of their social program, hence revenue to the government, along with good governance. And I think it's a win-win situation for all. So,
thank you.
You're welcome.
Staying with the theme of Jamaica, what can you tell us? I mean, what do you think the opportunity is, and how do you look at it?
Well, good morning again, everyone. I'm Chris Jarrett, representing Jamaica Chamber of Commerce. I think there's a scramble. I was speaking with one of the ministers of your government, Kenya's government, earlier this morning, and he said we both agreed that there is a scramble. I think people internationally are now looking to this part of the world, and particularly with what's going on in the United States. I think it's an opportunity. I think a lot of people are looking at it the wrong way, in my view. They're frightened and nervous about what the president-elect might want to do with the trade agreements and these other things. But I think It's an opportunity for us to look at ways that, as was said earlier on this panel, for us to unite the Caribbean and Latin America region and to look at how we can improve our own trade relationships and do some more business. That's my take on it. I operate 2 hotels in Jamaica, one in Kingston and one in Montego Bay. So my particular interest is in tourism. But as I heard Delroy saying earlier, we are not focused on any particular business. We're focused on opportunities and how it is that those can manifest themselves into making money for both parties or the several parties that might be involved and make everybody happy.
Thank you. Just one point, if I can ask, you know, what we were looking at, and Kiprono, of course, is the chairman of the Kenya National Chamber, is this idea of economic diplomacy. And that what I was hearing was that we don't have many ambassadors exchanged. For example, I don't believe you have an ambassador here in Kenya. I don't believe Kenya has an ambassador in Kingston. Do you think that we need to look at that in the context of sort of powering this engagement?
Yes, I think that you're quite right. I was having that conversation earlier with one of the journalists here. That the connectivity needs to be improved, and I think that's definitely an avenue to getting there. Notwithstanding that, there is a relationship that is historical between Jamaica and Kenya. When Dudley Thompson, who was a minister in our government in Jamaica, supported and was part of the legal team for Jomo Kenyatta back in the 70s. And so there is that history that is of friendship and support between the countries that I think it's about time to be rekindled. When I was getting ready to leave, I had a meeting with the Minister of Tourism, Honorable Ed Bartlett, who had sent a message to your Minister of Tourism, Najib Balalal.
That's right.
Yes. Balal. And, you know, to say we want to rekindle this relationship. And you're quite right. I think that perhaps it is something that Ministry of Foreign Affairs should be looking at.
Thank you. Juan Miguens is the National Director of International Market Research, Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock of Argentina. Juan, occasionally when we have drought conditions, the cows are in our cities. Do you have that problem in Argentina? I'm only joking. Over to you.
Thank you, Alical. Good morning. Thank you on behalf of the Ministry of Agri-Industry. Thank you for inviting us to this summit. This is a real great opportunity to understand and see how we can collaborate between the 2 countries. And thank you to Mergent Mundos for the organization. And this is a beautiful country. And everyone has been very considerate and very courteous so far. So from the Ministry of Agri-Industry, there has been some changes in Argentina since last year. There's a new administration. In the last 5 to 10 years, there were some misleading policies that probably led Argentina out of a lot of markets. So the new administration, we believe mainly in three pillars, which we will be working very, very strongly in increasing productivity, and that's how we want to produce, considering mainly food safety and the environment, and producing more, and producing better. What is producing better takes me to the second pillar, which is focusing more on added value products. So historically, Argentina has been one of the main grain exporters in the world. We want to turn out to be more like a supermarket of the world. So, and that's very important for the country because it's more job creating opportunities, right? For every job that a primary product creates, there's 3 to 5 jobs that value added products creates. And the third pillar is regain most of the markets that we have been lost in the last years, and also open new markets. And that's why we're here. We believe Africa is a great opportunity. Kenya is an excellent gateway for that. And from what I have heard so far from the previous speakers, I took down 3 or 4 very important aspects about Kenya, mainly that it's, I can say, I believe it's a stable and growing economy with strong institutions and a long-term vision. And I see there's a lot of interaction between public and private sector, and that's another thing that we would like to encourage also in Argentina. We believe that when public and private sectors do not work together, there's a lot of waste, right? And I can feel that's also how it works here. So in that sense, as I said, I think it's a great opportunity. And these 2 days, we would like to hear more and see how we can collaborate. And there was an MOU signed in 2013, but in the last 2 years, there was not much done about that, but we would like to work on that and get back on that. So, and from the public sector, what we can assure is that we will bring the right framework for the private companies to come here. I think Argentina has a lot to offer also in terms of technology and in terms of products from grains, wine, milk, honey, peanuts, beans, peas, so those.
Fantastic, thank you. And I'd like what you were saying about value addition. This has been a perennial problem for Africa.